دایی یه فرصت خوب حالا پشت مدافع خداداد عزیزی توی دروازه گل گل برای ایران خداداد عزیزی باز هم روی زمین گشت سردار آزمون و توی دروازه سردار آزمون گل به نام آزمون و برای ایران
بزنه کریم انصاری فر
گل
توی دروازه کریم انصاری فر دروازه پرتغال باز شد
علی دایی سام توپ توی دروازه گل
اشتباه حرکت از قوچان نژاد فرصت برای قوچان نژاد توی دروازه گل برای ایران.
Welcome back to another edition of Gol Bezan after a rather involuntary hiatus. Very busy schedules for a lot of the members of Gol Bezan, but we've been trying to keep our best with staying on top of all the things happening with Team Melli. There's a lot to talk about, both with Team Melli, Persian Gulf Pro League, and the Asian Champions League. So many headlines happened in just the last few weeks, and we'll try our best to get through it all. I'm your host again for some reason today. I'm Samson Tamijani. I have with me Daniel Kayal and Erfan Hoseiny. Daniel, how's it going, man?
Hi, everyone. Very good. Thank you, Samson. How are you?
It's good. It's always a good time when it's the international break and we don't have anything extremely negative to talk about. Erfan, what about you, man? What's up?
Hey, Samson. Hey, everyone. Yeah, I'm happy to be here again. Looking forward to the games.
Yeah, same here, mate. Unless there are any groundskeeping enthusiasts around, nothing too negative. We just have Neymar laughing at Iranian turf fields, so that's nothing too great. But Neymar got his goal anyway. But anyway, we're gonna get into this. The first thing we want to talk about is the October list for Team Melli. They are inching closer to the Asian Cup in January, which will be in Qatar, and they decided to go with a strategy of this time playing a more domestic friendlies and participating in the Jordan International Tournament that's been going on for a while, as I found out. And Iran is by far the highest ranked team taking part in it. It is Iran, Jordan, Iraq, and Qatar, if I am correct, guys. Which also opens up a potential rematch or return of Carlos Queiroz coaching it against his own players. We'll get into that in a good bit. But we also had the squad announcement that Amir Ghalenoei announced, and we have that list right here. We have the goalkeepers, Alireza Bayramvand, hopefully not getting knocked out this international break. We've had rather unlucky times with him the last few times. I really hope he finds a way to avoid that. It seems like every time we see him in action, he runs into his own player or gets a concussion. So we also have Payam Azmoun, who's been doing well in club. Hoseiny, who we saw in the World Cup for a lot of our fans who joined us for our World Cup coverage. Obviously saw him step in when Bayramvand was knocked out against England. Sadi Moharami was going to be coming back. However, he got injured. We'll get to that in a little bit. Ramin Rezayan, Morteza Pourali Ganji, Amin Hasbavi, Mohamed Daneshgar, and then defensive, still defenders, Ehsan Hashsafi, of course. Mila Mohammadi makes a return. Ezzatolahi coming off a goal with in the Danish league. You don't see that every day with Ezzatolahi. Aman Nouralahi. Ruzbe Cheshmi comes back. Saman Khodous off of, not much for Brentford, but he gets called back in the team after a good performance last month. We have Javanbakhsh, Merdad Mohammadi, and of course, Taremi Mohebi just scored for FC Rostov in Russia a few days ago. Javad Hoseiny, we'll talk about that. Azmoun makes his return. Hopefully a healthy Azmoun, that is. And Ansari Fard makes his return. So, guys, breaking down first the goalies, and we'll work our way up. A kind of kind of a more or less expected three: Beranvan, Niazman, and Hoseiny. Although not enough room for Abedzadeh. Does that surprise anyone, Daniel?
Well, I'm not really surprised regarding what happened during the last national gathering and the last squad lists. I think Amir should show good performances with his club, and he could be, I think, the only goalkeeper to challenge those three, and I think he has the level to take his spot back. It's not like we're fully secured with this position, so yes, I think in the future, maybe for the Asian Cup, he can come back.
Goalies, Erfan?
Yeah, so all three goalkeepers are from the domestic league. As you said, Abedzadeh is not there after his recent move to the Spanish second division. And I actually think that this lineup of three is going to be our goalkeepers for the Asian Cup as well. I mean, they've all been playing consistently well for the respective clubs. Beranvan and Hoseiny both have 4 clean sheets in 5 games. And Beranvan did make a small mistake, not a small mistake, but he did make a mistake against Zabahan. But other than that, he's been doing pretty well. So if he doesn't get injured, I think he's going to be the main man for Iran. And Niazman as well, he has conceded 3 goals this season, I believe, but those shots were not savable, to be honest. And other than that, he's been doing really well for Sabahan. And Hoseiny, he saved 2 out of 2 penalties this season. So a great start to the season for him as well. And yeah, I think that these 3 are going to be our goalkeepers for the Asian Cup.
Do we think that Beranvan should automatically get the start, or should Ghalenoei let the other 2 battle out to get the starting job for the Friday's first match?
Of course, you can never say a player should automatically start. So I think based on what we've seen over the last months, Ghalenoei has been attending some PGPL games himself. So I think he will know best, and he is in the training. So based on whoever's been performing better, I think whoever deserves to start should start the game.
Yes, and maybe we could have a try for Ghalenoei. Maybe he will try someone in the next two games, since they're friendlies and we're not at the Asian Cup yet.
Yeah, you want to make sure you have that circulation, and make sure you have guys who stay in form and can have some cohesion with the national team. The club team form only goes so far for you when you find yourself having to be subbed in all of a sudden in the middle of the Asian Cup with your country depending on it. You have to make sure that you are ready for that, that you have the chemistry with the lineup of guys. You have the right lineup of guys so that if someone goes out, the next man is up and he can fill in. We know that all too well. When Beranvan broke his nose in the World Cup, well, all of a sudden we had Hoseiny facing the likes of Harry Kane and Sterling. I mean, all these guys. So you have to expect Murphy's Law. If it can go worst case scenario, it will go worst case scenario. And you have to have a commanding presence in goal. And these 3 guys have been proven to do so. Niazman, obviously not at the World Cup level. Hoseiny got the win against Wales when Keras picked him to fill in for the Wales game. As for defenders, guys, Rezayan, Pouraliganji, Hasbavi, Daneshgar, Khalilzadeh, Kenani, Haj Safi, and Mohammadi. Is that a good selection, do we think, Daniel?
Well, on the fullbacks, I think there are no surprises. Only the injury of Moarami, of course. But I think that these are our best 4 fullbacks on both sides. In the center backs, I'm happy to see Hasbavi. He's 20 years old, and since someone like Majid Hoseiny is injured or not ready to play, I think he's back from injury, but he's still not fully fit, so it's better that he stay with his club. It's good to trust youngsters, especially one playing starting in the Qatar Super League, and since his summer move. And it's good. Maybe he will have some minutes, so it will be good to see how he will do for Team Melli.
And Erfan, before I let you step in, I forgot to mention straight up that Salmani was not included due to his injuries, and Moharami has been replaced with Hardani. Specifically Hardani, and I'll let you go to the other defenders. Does that sound like a good sub, since we unfortunately won't have Moharami?
Yeah, Hardani is a great player. He's been part of Team Melli lists for a while now, in and out of Team Melli since the 2022 qualifiers. And last season he didn't play consistently for Esteghlal, but this season now he's back starting again. He's been doing well and provided some good assists. And not only as an attacker, but he can also provide a lot as a defender. And I think he's a good backup for Amir Ghalenoei, who's likely going to be our starting right back in these games. And for the rest of the defenders, like Daniel said, I'm happy with these choices. I think these are our best fullbacks. And Hasbavi also, you mentioned, I'm happy to see him in the squad. And a controversial call-up is for Shuja Khalilzadeh. And but I think he deserves to be called up. After a shaky end to last season, he returned to the PGPL this season and he's been doing really well for Tractor. I think he's their captain now, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, especially over the last 3 or 4 games, I think they haven't conceded a single goal. And yeah, I'm happy with this set of players.
Erfan, can you bring us up to speed and reintroduce us to Hasbavi and Danishgar? Some of our maybe casual listeners, maybe that's not a really those aren't familiar names to hear. Can you tell us who they play for and how they've been recently?
Yeah, okay, so starting off with Amin Hasbavi, he's 20 years old. He was part of the Fulad Academy system. He played for Fulad until last season. He impressed a lot in the AFC Champions League knockout stages, especially against Al Faisali, and also in the quarterfinal game against Al Hilal. They only lost 1-0, and he had a chance to almost score that game as well. His header, unluckily for him, hit the crossbar. And that earned him a move to Qatari champions, as said, the Qatari Stars League. And he hasn't been getting much of the game time, but when he has impressed. He scored on his first start for them, a very good header. And the other defender, Mohammad Danishgar, he's a familiar name in Iranian domestic football. He's played for Saipa before and Esteghlal as well, where he got a move to Sepahan last season. And you guys might recognize his name as he scored a goal against Zenit in Sepahan's friendly against Zenit and Esfahan last season. So you guys might have heard of him there. And yeah, I think both of them deserve to be in this squad.
Yeah, and Danishgar, yeah, it's good size, 6'1". He's 29 years old, so he's plenty of experience, as you mentioned. Daniel, we have Ezotolahi hopefully in better form. He managed to get a goal. It was a great header off of a corner kick. Nuralahi, the Welsh Dragon Slayer, and Ruzbe Cheshmi makes his return. And Khodous Javanbakhsh and Merdad Mohammadi. All these midfielders, some of them I mentioned are center defensive midfielders. What do you think of that midfield core, Daniel?
Well, I'm happy to see those names. I think, well, even if Said Ezotolahi is not in form, we cannot play without him regarding his qualities and his tactical and technical level. I'm happy to see again someone Khodous. I think he's doing well for Team Melli. I mean, he did well in the last call-up, and he needs to play. He's not playing a lot, and it's quite frustrating because I think he's fit, and I think he can give Brentford, his Premier League club, different options, but he's not given he's not be given his chance for now. While Nurullahi and Ezotolahi are classics, Cheshmi is now becoming a classic for Team Melli. He's been called up a lot. I think he is not a starter, but he could be a good backup. And I'm happy to see in this list of central midfielders we have Hoseiny, 20 years old too, so same year than Hasbavi. It's good to have two new prospects, and we'll see how they will do if they get some minutes. I think it's the time for them to show at senior level what they can do, and it's good to have some prospects.
Yeah, it would be good to get a little bit of a positive outlook on these younger players after some really, really embarrassing failures with the U23 team, failing to tie or beat Uzbekistan in the qualifiers for the Olympic tournament for Asia, which is very embarrassing to see. And in the Asian Games, something that doesn't mean as much, but they still have the U23 team. They were eliminated by Hong Kong, not exactly a country, more like a city, but eliminated by Hong Kong. But nonetheless, some of the bright young spots get a chance at the senior national team and the senior Asian Cup, something that matters a whole lot more in terms of the senior level. Erfan, what do you make of the attackers now? We have Gol Bezan, who's not getting a lot of playing time at all, but is staying in form in England. We have Hoseiny, you can probably touch on him a little bit. Mohibbi is being informed. Taremi is Taremi, and Ansari Fard. And I will mention Azmoun. We'll save him for last.
Qudus, you mentioned he's not been getting much playing time at Brentford, but he had a good return to Team Melli last month, and I think he impressed Ghalenoei, and that was enough for him to get his call-up back again. And I think that that window last month actually kind of helped his career, because we saw him coming in as a substitute for Brentford a few times after that. He impressed, and I think it was the Carabao Cup, the defeat against Arsenal, even though they lost that game. And but he came on and played the last 20 or so minutes and created some good chances. Then Hoseiny, you mentioned, it's his first call-up. I'm very, very happy to see him there. I think he definitely deserves this call-up. He came out of nowhere for Sepahan this season, and he's been consistently starting for them and playing really well. Then on the other attackers, Taremi, like you said, it's just Mehdi Taremi. Azmoun, I hope he can regain fitness. He hasn't been getting much playing time in Roma. And Sarifard is also back. I'm happy to see him. He has a lot of experience. I think he can help more so outside of the pitch, in the dressing room maybe. And also Mehdad Mohammadi has gotten a return call-up to Team Melli after a long, long time, after impressing his first few games for Esteghlal.
Yes, and on Mehdad Mohammadi in the last pod, I was mentioning his name because I think one of our biggest weakness in the last World Cup was pace, and so Ghalenoei quickly called when he came. He quickly called Mohibbi, and now and I was saying that maybe someone like Mehdad Mohammadi with his pace and abilities would bring something more to the team, and he called him up now. So let's hope that he will stay fit and can bring something more to the team, because we don't have much player with that pace, and he was doing very well in Portugal. I think he has a European level, so he's not playing Europe right now, but he could have. And yes, regarding Azmoun, I think Ghalenoei will give him, maybe not starting the first game, but he will start at least one of those 2 games. He needs to play. I think he's back from his injury and he just wants to play, and he's not been given his chance at Roma, but maybe it will be an opportunity for him to show us again what he's made of.
I don't know if you agree, Erfan, but I don't really want to chance it because we just haven't seen him at all hardly since since he scored against Uzbekistan. Really, it's really the main time we've seen him in an actual game, club or country. Azmoun, I'm talking about. I don't know if I would necessarily chance it. Oh, dude, laptop's falling apart. But if he's healthy, it's good to see him back in the squad, though.
Yeah, it's good to see him back in the squad after missing last month. But yeah, I don't know if he's gonna start both games. I doubt he is. To be fair, he looked pretty fit in the recent training sessions, but then again, that's just training. We have to actually see him in the games. Like Daniel mentioned, I think he will start one of the games though. Maybe the final if we make it there. I think that Ghalenoei will start them, maybe test the two-striker formation that game. But yeah, we'll see. I hope he does well.
All right, moving on then. Something that isn't talked about really on the field, but as a neutral platform, we have to address it. Coach Amir Ghalenoei can't seem to find the right angle of himself, and he's been banning photographers for it. This is, if you haven't heard about this yet, it's a true story. It's verified by us. The national team photographer in the last camp was suspended because the manager and I guess the federation did not approve of his photos of Amir Ghalenoei. And just like with Ezatolahi, the solution can easily be getting better fitness, eat better. Or if you're a Ghalenoei, you can pick a different photographer who only gets your best angles. Is this a character trait or just what? It's just silly. but that's what we're dealing with. His tactics seem to be working okay. Are we in agreement about this?
Actually, yeah, the photographer, he's called Amir Ghalenoei. He's actually a very famous photographer in Iran. He's been Team Melli's photographer for a while now. And the reason that he was actually suspended or banned was because he put out a story, an Instagram story of Amir Ghalenoei. And I swear on my grandfather that this is not Photoshop. So I think that was the reason why he was suspended. Now, I know
he didn't say anything bad. He didn't say anything bad. He just said it's not Photoshop. It's not Photoshop.
I understand, but there can be a debate for both sides here. I think he should maintain a level of respect. I mean, at the end, he is our national team's coach. But come on, it's just a bit of a joke here and there. I don't think it should have led to him being suspended for the national team trainings.
Last time I checked, even the world-class managers on the planet still have a sense of humor, but Ghalenoei doesn't seem to have one. Daniel's like, I'm staying out of this. I'm staying out of this.
Yes, I am.
All right. Back to on the field matters. For the Asian Champions League fans, we have on this podcast. We had a lot of controversy. The AFC all of a sudden had their hands full with this, with Al Ittihad, and you guys refresh my memory of the players for them. N'Golo Kante, right? And
Fabinho, N'Golo Kante, Benzema, who was injured.
Yes, they had 60,000 fans for their match against Sepahan. 60,000 rabid Sepahan fans waiting to see these stars, waiting to see their favorite team go against these guys. And it was canceled, or postponed, I should say. They said the word canceled, but it's really postponed until further notice because the officials with the team had issues apparently with the bust that they had of former Iranian General Soleimani. But they were training the day before. So it was a bit confusing because at first it seemed okay and then it wasn't. Erfan, give us an update on what you've heard. We have unconfirmed reports that they're going to play the match, after all, at Zobahan's stadium, maybe. Is that true?
And there have been both Arab and Iranian reports that the game is going to be replayed at Fulat Shah, which is Zobahan Stadium, just on the outskirts of Sepahan. But we're going to have to wait on that because we don't even know if the match is going to be replayed 100% because the AFC is going to have a meeting, I think, by the end of this month where they'll decide on the matter. I hope it's going to be replayed. I really don't want to see the game being given as a 3-0 win to either side because I think it would ruin the fun of it. We want to see these teams play together, and I feel really bad for the Sepahan fans because they are the biggest losers out of this. I mean, imagine waiting all this time for all these stars to come to your country. You fill out your stadium. You have a very, very good entrance. We saw the tifos and all the very good atmosphere by the Sepahan fans. So yeah, I feel very bad for them. I hope it gets sorted out. At least they can play a rematch and Fulat Shah, even though the capacity is much lower. I think it's 15 or 20,000. It would still be better than nothing.
Well, I've watched the last Iranian clubs playing in the Asian Champions League. It was mostly Persepolis that did well, but for the other one, it was much more difficult. And yeah, let's hope that this game will get postponed and played and not be cancelled or anything.
And on that note, Erfan, what is the update with the standings? How are the Iranian teams faring so far in the Champions League?
Well, we have first of all in Group C, we have Sepahan. I think they're in a group with Air Force of Iraq, Al Ittihad of Saudi, and AGMK of Uzbekistan. Surprisingly, in their first game, they drew to Air Force with Ali Jassim of Air Force getting a brace against Sepahan. And they sadly gave away the 2 points away in the 90th minute. So, but they are sitting third, well, second or third. I know they're third. I mean, with 1 point, but they have a game in hand, both them and Al Ittihad. So that game is very important. And then in Group D, it's Nasaji's group. Al Hilal are first with 4 points. Navbahor are second with 4 points. Nasaji third with 3 points and Mumbai City with 0 points. Nasaji won their first game actually against Mumbai City, even though Mumbai had more of the ball. But Nasaji, I think their experience of playing against good teams in the Iranian league helped them a lot. They took their chances well, they defended well, and that's what got them their debut win. They will play Navbahor next in Uzbekistan, and might sound like an easy game because Navbahor don't even have any foreign players. It's just Uzbek players. But we saw how they played against Al Hilal. A very good 1-1 draw away, even though it was how some people would call it park the bus football. But then they got the point at the end, and that's what matters. So I would not say it's an easy game for Nasaji, but it's definitely winnable. And then in Group E, Persepolis' group, we have Cristiano Ronaldo's Al Nassr first, Persepolis second, Al Duhail third, and Istiklal Tajikistan fourth. And Persepolis started with a loss, unfortunately, to Al Nassr. I would have loved to see that game with fans, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. And Al Nassr are currently top in the group, and Persepolis are second with 3 points. I think Persepolis should easily be able to secure at least second place in this group and advance as one of the best runners-up.
Right, and in terms of the Persian Gulf Pro League itself, we have Persepolis, Estagal, and Traktor on top. The Classic Three, if I'm not mistaken, the Classic Three on top so far with 13 points, 12 points, and 12 points. Is that correct, Erfan? And also, what are we seeing so far? What are the main storylines of the Persian Gulf Pro League so far? I know it's early, but about 5-6 matches in.
Yeah, actually, this morning was confirmed that Persepolis have been deducted 1 point because of their breaking their financial fair play rules, I believe it was. So Estagal currently sit first with 12 points, Persepolis with 12 points, and Traktor with 12 points as well. But then Persepolis and Esteghlal do have a game in hand, as well as Sepahan, who are fourth with 11 points, with an outstanding goal difference of +10, which is 5 higher than anyone else. So they've been deducted 4 points. They actually had the perfect start to the season, 5 wins out of 5. And but then again, rules are rules. If you don't follow them, you are going to get punished. So it's very unfortunate that they can't follow this simple set of rules that was set for them at the beginning of the season. And it's not just Sepahan.
Yeah, it's embarrassing that
it's
there's multiple teams.
Exactly. Now, Persepolis deducted 1 point yesterday. It might be more later on. Who knows? And then there's again rumors today that Tractor are going to be deducted points as well. So it's very sad to see something like this going on at a professional level, as some people would say. But again, stories like this will make it seem very unprofessional. And another one of the main storylines are the Khuzestani clubs this season. They've had a very bad start to the season. Esteghlal Khuzestan currently sit bottom with just 1 point in 6 games, 7 goals conceded. And then Fulat sit 14th. And after getting their first win 2 or 3 days ago, I think it was, and Sanat Naft sit on 13th. So out of the bottom four clubs, 3 of them are Khuzestani, which is sad to see, because Khuzestan has always been big on the footballing stage in Iranian football. And the other club in the relegation position is Shams Azar Qazvin, who, to be fair, have been playing very well, but that 3-point deduction at the start of the season has hurt them a lot, and I don't think they're going to get relegated. I think they're going to bounce back up.
All right, thank you, Erfan. Again, Erfan Hoseiny, our Persian Go Pro League expert on Gol Bezan. We always look to you whenever we're looking for something to post or share. So, Erfan, thank you for that. Danielle, before you go, Danielle, before you go, we'll get you our expected lineup. So we're gonna go into our expected lineup for the Jordan match on Friday, and then we'll take a look at the Jordan national team. So, Danielle, looking at this squad list, who is your ideal starting 11 for the Jordan match, assuming, of course, that Iran can get the win and move on to play Iraq or Qatar? Who would you like to see get it done on Friday?
Well, on the goalkeeper position, I would like to see Niazmand. I think he's a goalkeeper with potential, and I would like to see him for this game. In defense, in central defense, of course, I would like to see Hasbavi, and maybe with Cannoni to get paired up. On the right side, well, I would go for Ramin Rezayan. Left side, not sure if it's good to play Milad Mohammadi. He's not playing a lot for his club. And he's not been playing at his best level for a long time now. So, could it be a game to give him some playing time and some confidence? I'm not sure. So I would play Ehsan Hashsafi in midfield. If we go with a 3-man midfield, I would go with Said Ezatullahi, Hodus, and Cheshmi, or Nurullahi, depends. Yeah, I'll be open. And I'll finish with Javanbakhsh, Mehrdad Mohammadi, and Taremi in front.
That was a little bit experimental, kind of mixing it up. Would you agree, Daniel?
Yes. Well, regarding the squad, we have quite a good squad regarding our players. We only have maybe 2-3 young prospects. So yes, we have a lot of experience in this squad.
I actually like that, Daniel, but I don't expect it, because we've seen Ghalenoei consistently start more of the A-team guys and maybe bring those other guys on as subs. So I think realistically, I would hope that those guys get about maybe the second half in terms of subbing on. Some of them we might not see later. Sometimes I don't agree with the timing of his subs, but I do like that that selection of guys who get to see that playing time. Erfan, what are you?
I would like actually I would like to see a formation with two strikers since we have Azmoun Taremi, but I'm not sure that he will try that against Jordan.
I think that also depends on health, how they're feeling on that day.
Yeah, like you said, I think it's going to be a different lineup to what Danya said. My expected lineup would be, I think Beran is going to start again. Ghalenoei has showed the previous camps he likes Beran a lot. When he is available, he has always started them. I think Beran will start, and then our back four. I think, like Daniel mentioned, I don't think it's time for Milad Mohammadi to start yet. So I would play Hajsafi as left back. But the center back pairing, I don't think that Hasbawi will start yet, even though I'd like to see him, but I don't think he's going to start. I think it's going to be a back two of Kanani and Khalilzadeh, maybe. They've both been playing really well. And then right back, Ramin Rezayan. I'm going with the 4-2-3-1 formation, so just to let you guys know. The pivot two, I think it's going to be Ezzatullahi and probably Ruzbe Cheshmi. And the three attacking midfielders. Just to mention, Hoseiny has been playing as an attacking midfielder for Sepahan. So if he comes on, expect him to play in that position as well. So the three midfielders up there, I'm going to go with Quddus as the central attacking midfielder, Javanbakhsh on the left-hand side, and Mohebbi on the right. And then Taremi up top. So I think that's going to be the team we're going to see on Friday.
It's actually been a really long time since we've played Jordan, if I'm not mistaken, at the senior level. We played them at the U23, played them several times in the women's side. Jordan wasn't too happy about our women defeating them in a penalty shootout to advance to the Asian Cup, but they can go cry about that some more. From what I'm seeing, unless I'm mistaken, I don't think we've actually played them since 2006 World Cup qualifiers, unless any of us have done some extra history research. I know Erfan might be doing some right now. And in those 2006 World Cup qualifiers, if I'm not mistaken, and you can comment below if you guys have any correction for me, but I believe it was 1-0 for Jordan, and then on the return leg, Iran won 2-0. I think that was like the second round of the World Cup qualifiers in 2006. I mean, it's a whole generation ago, but yeah, it's been quite some time.
Actually, we have actually played them a few times after that as well. In 2012, we played them twice in friendlies actually, but both ended in a draw. One time it was 2-2, and one time 0-0.
And that was under Karish, 2012.
Yeah, it was under Karish.
Oh, that's interesting. So, it's been a while since we played them, let alone play them in Jordan, and it's going to be 2 matches in Jordan. So a little bit about the Jordan national team right now. They are currently ranked 84th in the world, down 2 spots. Their highest ranking ever was in 2004 whenever Iran was playing them. They reached 37th. In terms of recent results,
they played 2 friendlies against the European sides actually last window.
Right.
They had 6-0 loss.
They've lost against Norway 6-0, and they've played another game, but I don't think they won.
Azerbaijan 2-1 loss was the other game.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Yeah, I see that here. They defeated Jamaica 2-1 in June, lost to Serbia 3-2 in June also. Their highest profile game was the 6-0 loss against Norway last month. Last year they actually played against Spain, lost 3-1. They managed a goal against Spain. In terms of their highest rated players, we were talking about it earlier, guys. Musa Al-Tamari plays for Montpellier, and Erfan, I think you know a few more of those guys. You care to tell us more about some of their players?
Obviously you mentioned Musa Al-Tamari had a very good start to the season in the French league, scored a very good goal from outside the box a few days ago. So I think he is their star player. He is the one to look out for. Most of the other players, except a fair few, play in the domestic league. especially for Al Faisali, who are in the Champions League, and Wahdat and Al Hussein. So most of their players are made up of domestic players. And I actually want to talk about their new coach, Hossein Amuta. He came in not too long ago. He came in this year, and the Moroccan didn't have the best of starts. But then again, he just came into the team, so I think that's why they didn't play too well on those first two games.
Predictions for Iran and Jordan. What are you what are you expecting for this?
I expect a 3-0 for Iran.
Simple as that?
As simple as that.
I don't think it's going to be as easy as Daniel mentioned, because we are playing in Jordan at the end. They're probably going to have a packed stadium. I would say a 1-0 win. We're gonna just scrape by.
Knowing our history of a little bit of shenanigans in a positive result, I would not be surprised if we go up 2-0 and then let one goal late, or allow a silly goal first and then go up 2 goals to win 2-1. Oh, and by the way, Erfan, if this is a draw, do they go straight to penalties with this, since it is a friendly tournament?
Yeah, I believe they go straight to penalties.
Okay, so I mean, worst case scenario, if Iran just plays god awful and we have penalty shootout or something, hey, at least we get the experience of seeing what our players look like in penalty shootout, and we get to see them put on the spot. Maybe good experience for in January or in February for the Asian Cup. Who knows? Yeah, but I mean, most realistically, I'd expect 2-1 win. I don't expect us to play fantastic. So 2-1. But if we play up to the potential of the right lineup, and if they have the right cohesion and the right chemistry leading up to the match, I wouldn't be surprised if we get something like 4-1 or 4-0 if our goalies play great and our defense doesn't mess around. And details for that, by the way, guys, that is going to be at 9 p.m. That's 21 hours Jordan time, local time, so late kickoff. 10 p.m. Dubai time, 8 p.m. Central European time. So for those like in Sweden or where Danielle is in Paris, that's going to be at 8 p.m. It'll be at 2 o'clock New York time, 1 p.m. Houston time, 10 a.m. Noon Denver time, 11 a.m. Pacific time. We'll be posting the links. I believe Erfan mentioned that it should be on Jordan Sports TV channel on YouTube. We'll be sharing those links. You'll probably see them a lot on Twitter. Hopefully, we'll be doing a Spaces as well for that for the match right before the game. I'm not too sure if Arya will be leading that. But yeah, those are the details for the game. Erfan, do you expect us to play Qatar or Iraq after this game?
I expect us to play Qatar. Based on what I've seen the past few months, I think we're going to play Qatar. So yeah,
they have been struggling, but you think that they are better than Iraq?
Yeah, Iraq have also been struggling. I mean, last month they played, and I think it was the Kings Cup in Thailand. And it was similar to this tournament, and they drew 2-2 with India, winning on penalties in the semifinals. And in the final, they drew again 2-2 with Thailand, and then they won that game on penalties. So not the best of tournaments for them, but they managed to win it with 2 draws. I think we're going to see Qatar, and hopefully, because we haven't played them in a long time. The last time we played them was before the 2019 Asian Cup in a behind closed doors friendly. I think we won 2-1 that game. And yeah, and obviously, return of Carlos Queiroz. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely no shortage of storylines with that match. I would expect a match. I think either will be very tough for Iran. So people look at it on paper and they think, oh well, we could have gotten better friendlies. We played good friendlies last month. Why couldn't we get them again for this? But this is good. This is a good matchup for prepping against the Asian Cup. If we're prepping for World Cup play, then yeah, we'd start worrying. But no, I think this is a good competition level in preparation for the Asian Cup. It's getting ready for potential matchups. So with that being said, guys, And we will have an episode in between the matches. We'll try to assemble enough guys for that. It's been hard. We've had a lot of guys not be free to do Gol Bezan, but we want to put out a good product for our listeners on all podcast platforms, especially YouTube. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. It really does help us out, and it helps get us really far in terms of things we need to get technology wise, website wise. It really helps us. So please hit the subscribe button, give us a good rating on wherever you're hearing our podcast. We'll be back for the next episode. Erfan, thanks for joining me again.
Yeah, thank you again, Samson. Thank you. I'm very happy to be here once again. Yeah, goodbye.
All right, yep, thanks, and we'll see you for the next episode, and we'll see you right before the match. And for our coverage on social media, as always, it's at Gol Bezan.
Hello everyone, my name is Saeed Azatollah and you're listening to the Gol Bezan podcast.